Hello and welcome back to another episode of Auto Reviews 24. If you are in the market for a spacious and affordable 3-row midsize SUV, then this video is for you. In fact, in this review, I will help you decide that which is the best 3-row midsize SUV and the perfect for your family. So I am presenting you none other than this beautiful all-new 2025 Chevrolet Traverse in this top-of-the-line RS trim. A huge shout out to Jeremy Green from Jack Carter here in Southeast Calgary for lending us this beautiful car to us so that I can review this for you guys. If you are into Chevrolet, GMC or Buick cars, please reach out to him. He has got some good cars in stock and can give you a great deal. Is this Traverse the best family hauler for you? Stay tuned to find out. If you are into honest, simple and practical car reviews, then this video is for you. Please do not forget to like and subscribe my channel to support me. Today, I will dive deep into this Traverse and understand how does it stack against its competition. But before that, let's talk about some numbers. This particular car comes in 3 different trims in Canadian market: LT, Z71 and RS. The starting price is 55,000 Canadian dollars and the one which we have today, the top of the line, comes all the way to 70,000 Canadian dollars. But it includes all the packages and the freight charges and everything else, which is, I would say, a good number when it comes to 2025 and all the car market prices out there. But let's talk about some competition as well. This is the most popular segment in North America for families. We have likes of Hyundai's Palisade, Kia's Telluride, Nissan's Pathfinder, Toyota's Highlander or Grand Highlander, and there are all mainstream manufacturers having one of those products in this segment. So it is very, very difficult for a consumer to understand and identify the best product out there. And hence, in this review, I will help you decide, is the Traverse the best value for money and the value proposition out there? We will find out in this detailed review. And friends, please do not forget to like and subscribe my channel to support me, as that will help me keep the engine running and bring more reviews for you guys. So let us start with the exterior impressions of this brand new Traverse, starting from the front of this car. The car is aggressive, upstance as well as boxy in design, looks very similar to the Chevy Tahoe, the big brother, which is also 3-row full-size SUV. But I really love the way it looks. It is something modern in its own way. Especially in this RS trim, it looks even better because you have this bow tie which is blacked out. The chrome element here is also blacked out. The entire front grille is all blacked out with different patterns to it. RS badge over here. The front camera is neatly tucked here. In fact, the lower bumper looks very much macho, big and similar to the Escalade cars you see on the road. It has got functional air vents for cooling as well, and the radar system and everything for the super cruise control in this car. Over to my right is where you will see an interesting design choice. Divorce headlights. Up is where you have daytime running lights as well as turn signals. Bottom is where you will get standard LED lights, high beam, low beam, all blacked out, very neatly designed. I love this black accent pieces here which is plastic. Even it has got functional air vents, which is always good to know. This particular color here is the sterling grey metallic and it looks really stunning in my opinion. There are some good colors out there also if you like some darker colors in this particular model. Let's talk about the side of this car. That's where you will see another big change. Massive R22 glossy black alloy wheels here with 275 by 45 tire profile, and boy, it looks stunning, huge and really impressive in this particular car. Really makes the car stand out well in the market. The fender here is also glossy black, which matches the overall theme of the car and looks really nice in this dual tone finish. Over to my right is where you see a classic Traverse printed on the driver's door panel and looks really impressive and elegant. The blacked out side mirrors are also neatly designed, very well sized. integrated turn signals and 360-degree camera system to support the overall car's dimensions. Overall, the side profile is, I would say, very well proportioned. This car is 205 inches long and roughly around 80 inches wide. That means it's quite big in its competition and segment as well. The ground clearance here is 6.8 inches in this RS trim. However, if you go for the Z71, then this clearance increases by 1.2 inches and roughly around 7.8 to 8 inches, which is a good thing to have. I would have loved that they would have given 8-inch ground clearance standard for every model, but that is how it is. Now, the side windows are very big, all blacked out frame, kind of goes well with the RS trim. The roof rails here are very prominent in black, looks really nice, complemented by the panoramic sunroof up there. But what changes my view is how the quarter panel is designed here in the C or D pillar. I really love the way they have come up with this design of including this big window, which is in a more floatier design to compensate the length of the car, and it looks really awesome in my opinion. And that's where the other design element from the back of the car integrates here on the side, which is the tail lights, which extends all the way to this mid D pillar, and that is something interesting in the design element. The entire tail lights here is all LEDs, and I love this blacked out accent where it is not turned on, you see this white or black. When it is turned on, everything becomes red. Love the way it looks. The rear of the car is very wide thanks to this design element of this tail lights. The light bar does not extend in between, but because of this RS, you have this blacked out trim which really integrates into this LED turn signals as well as the lights. The black bow tie looks really excellent here as well. Very subtle badging, RS on my right, on my left is where you have Traverse and all-wheel drive badge. This section here where the number plate goes, it's also blacked out to give it a different stance. Overall, the car stands upright and boxy from the back as well. Standard rear wiper to clean. However, I've seen most of the GM products tuck this very well neatly into this rear spoiler, but in this case, they haven't gone in that route. But the good thing is they have a digital camera system here, and this rear brake lights very well integrated in this spoiler, and it looks really nice. The rear camera is also really very well tucked in. Now let's talk about the rear bumper, and that's where you will have another sportier design elements and sleek information here. All blacked out bumper with rear lights as well as reflectors, and look at this beautiful quad exhaust system. They are not fake, they are real, and that's what stands out when it comes to this car's overall profile and look. Now let us talk about the cargo space in this car, because that is one of the biggest reason why a family should choose this car. There you go. So once we open this, it reveals us one of the biggest cargo space available in the market right now in North America in the 3-row midsize SUV segment. Right now, as you see, behind the third row, we have 23 cubic feet of space. That is roughly around 5 to 6 cubic feet more than any competitor out there in this segment. What do we have on my left and right is not much of a cubby space, very basic elements of the hooks, and on my right is where you have switches to power operate your third row and second row. That is only available in this top trim, not in Z71. But under the floor, you have almost another 2-3 cubic feet of decent storage as well, which is not included part of the 23 cubic feet. That means it is one of the class leading behind the third row without any doubt. Now, when I fold the third row, which is with these buttons right here, so let me use this powered button here to flat all the rows. In fact, I've already done one. I just wanted to show you how quick this is, which is really nice. Now, as you see, when I flat the third row and the second row, the flooring is completely flat. That means it is great for camping as well. Easily can accommodate 3 to 4 people if you want to do camping in the car. Now let's talk about some practicality. Behind the third row, you can easily put 4 cabin style luggage upright, and the space after the third row is 56 cubic feet. And if you flat entirely the second and third row, it enables you 98 cubic feet, which is class leading, almost as good as Grand Highlander in every aspect of it, which is one of the best selling point of this particular Traverse. Now let's talk about the interior tech and fit and finish of this particular Traverse, starting with the key. The key is very typical GM key, lock, unlock and everything else. Nothing fancy, but black bow tie because it's an RS model. Now you can just simply open this, very prominent handles out there. The stepping height of this car is really nice in spite of the bigger size, because it's 6.8 inches, not higher on 8 inches side of things. You step inside this Traverse and you will be greeted by this modern design, cohesive dashboard with these big screens, the talking point. But before that, let us start from the driver's door panel and understand the product's quality and material choices. Right here is where you have a very interesting design choice. Soft touch plastic here, soft touch leather here as well, but you will see lots of red stitching everywhere because of the RS trim. You have aluminum metal style finish to break the overall color combination, because this car comes only in one color tone, which is black. I wish they would have gone with different color choices. The bottom here is really hard plastic, but that's what you can expect in this price point. However, the cubby space here for the bottle and everything is quite deep and wide, which is great to know. You also have premium Bose sound system in this top of the range, which is 10 to 12 speakers, I believe. Sounds really nice. One interesting element I want to point out is this interesting choice of plastic, which actually is more of an ambient tone. It starts with red and gets into more darker black tone and seamlessly connects into the dashboard. The memory seats are also tucked here in the door panel, but the switches are very basic and matte finish, nothing fancy over here. Now let me talk more from the driver's perspective. The driver's seat here is 10-way adjustable, which is great. Now the steering wheel of this Traverse is also quite modern and very premium in my opinion. The overall bolstering of this steering wheel is very thick, red stitching. This panel here is the Super Cruise control, which is great. The RS badging here with blacked out accent looks really nice. Flat bottom as well. The best thing is power operated tilted and telescopic adjustment of the steering wheel, which is something class leading in this segment. You even have pedal shifters. On my left is where you have all the light controls. On my right is where you have the gear selectors on the steering wheel, not traditional shifters what you see it on the center console. The fit and finish of the buttons here is top notch. You have also some black accent across the switches, heated steering wheel as well. But the most important talking point in this car is on my left. It's not about the parking switch or the modes to change the drives, but it is the all-wheel drive switch here. One of the only cars in this segment which allows you to turn on or off your all-wheel drive system. What it means is that by default it will drive on the front wheel drive only, but when you turn it on with this one switch, that's where the car will perform in the all-wheel drive settings. So if you are assuming that the car is always naturally performing in all-wheel drive, you're completely wrong. You need to make sure you enable this in the winter or whenever you want to use that feature. Let's talk about the seats comfort in this Traverse. The seats are really soft, cushiony, very well bolstered as well. But the best thing is, look at this RS trim, comes with this red stitching, some more elements with this red leather portion over here, comes out very well, perforated, heated and ventilated, which is really great. Only in this RS trim though, not in the Z71. Go to the dashboard. The dashboard is quite low, means the visibility is great, especially when the car is so long. This portion here is not the softest in a segment. It is plastic though. You have red stitching, some aluminum finish here, which integrates very seamlessly with the AC vents. But the same reddish, blackish kind of plastic trim continues seamlessly from the door panels into the center console. Glove box here is quite deep and wide, and it's quite huge for storage as well. You even have more storage under the center console here. So let us talk about the dashboard here. The most important thing, which is these big screens in front of you. The driver's display here is 11 inches all digital, but the infotainment screen is horizontal and is huge, 17.7-inch in total. Looks really nice. A very intuitive and simple General Motors operating system continues here as well. The best thing is it supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is always a welcome change. Though it also brings you an interesting software feature where you can actually use Apple CarPlay's map here on the right, and you can use Google's map on my left. In the driver's display, you can pick and choose. That's really configurable. As you see, it is highly configurable, which is really nice. With this one button, you can actually change the different layouts. There you go. You have your own navigation here as well. That is one of the best things I've seen in modern cars, that eliminates the need of heads-up display, and hence this car actually does not come with any heads-up display as well. Though if you go with the Acadia or Enclave, you get that option. The main infotainment screen. The screen is very zippy, fast and crisp and clear. You can use all the HVAC shortcuts here with this ventilated and heated seats. Very easy to use. It's also 3-stage which is good. One interesting feature in this particular screen is there is the power on off button over here, which actually works in two ways. Once you tap it, you can mute, or you can hold it and turn it off the screen, and again turn it on by holding and long press, which is actually a very interesting software element. Now let us talk about the center console in general. Huge AC vents, really a fan of that. Good thing is you even have physical buttons here to operate this, fan speed and everything, which is again a welcome change. What else we have here is USB-C and USB-A and a wireless charger. But one thing is a big zonk is this piano black finish across the center console. I love the fact that they have put this aluminum style trim, but I'm not a fan of this piano black. Catches a lot of dust, but decent size cup holders and an interesting touch here where you open this and reveals a small cubby. Nothing fancy, but you can put your wallet as I have done it right now. Now let's talk about the center armrest. The armrest is actually decent size, quite big. It's soft but not the softest. I love this stitching element here. Let us open it, and that reveals a dynamically deep storage space here as well, with a tray, some lights, but no USB-Cs over here. Now let's talk about the headliner of this car. That's where you will see one interesting bit is digital rear view mirror. Great choice here from Chevy. Blackout headliner with some sunglass holder as well. Now you get this panoramic sunroof with opening the shades as well as the sunroof opens. The sunroof actually goes all the way to the second row but does not extend to the third row passengers, which is one thing to know. The sun visors actually here is quite wide and big with some integrated LED lights, and it also has good extension as well. That's a great choice here. Now let us move to the back rows and check out the passenger seats for the second and third rows. So now I'm in the second row of this Traverse. Let me walk you through the fit and finish and comfort here as well. In my opinion, it's one of the spacious car you can get in the mid-size segment. Let us talk about everything from the door panel itself. The door panel is very simple and basic, similar to the front rows, soft touch plastic over here, but hard touch in the bottom. No ambient light system or anything fancy like that. However, it does not have any cup holders over here, just like how the Palisades have. Instead, they have the cup holders in the center console over with the aluminum trim, and it looks really nice and easily accessible. What else we have is a grab handle for the passengers. No sunshades for the second row passengers is one of the zonks, I would say. The AC vents are up here and not in the B pillar. The front row also gives you some pocket system, but it's not deep and it doesn't stretch further to add more storage there. But what and where it shines is this space here. The floor is entirely flat. The seats here are captain seats because it's the top of the line, so you get 7-seat options. There is only one option where you get 8-seat option is the LT, which is the base model. Now let's talk about the seat comfort here. The seat is really soft, but it's not wide enough. It has got decent size underside support. The leg room in front of the seats is quite deep, so you can even tuck your legs there. You can even recline the seats as much as you want with this lever on my right. The seat being higher from the floor, the stadium style feel and the comfort for the second row passenger is top notch. The front rows also has the height adjustable seat belts, which is a welcome change. Now back to the second row is where you have this armrest, which is not widest, but it still does its job. The center console here has a small digital screen where you can use this tri-zone climate control functions here as well, auto on off, as well as fan and everything else. You also have heated seats but no ventilated seats. 2 USB-C, a household power outlet, deep storage over here as well, and it enables enough space for kids to live comfortably here. The seats here tumbles in different ways. There is one button over here. If I just press this, as you see, in fact I just keep it pressing, and as you see, this car tumbles in forward. That means even if you have latched a car seat in front here, you can keep it intact and yet the car seat will come forward. That is one good touch. You even have a button over here which actually tumbles the entire seats down, which I'll show you again. You even have this lever here which you can use it and tumble the seats completely flat and bring it forward. You can use this button again to kind of bring it upright back, and it's fairly easy and fast in this case. Right now you can simply use this button over here. It comes faster. You can move it between this row or directly come out from this. There is enough legroom and a footstep here to bring you to the third row. And the third row is where things really change. In fact, while I was in the second row, the legroom and headroom was really good. While I'm in third row, the same roominess continues. Look at my shoulder rooms, the headroom, the legroom, even though this particular seat is almost in the back position. I have enough room in front as well. Though the seats are quite soft and configured for 3 passengers, but the under thigh support is missing little bit. Overall, the back third row is quite comfortable. One thing to notice is, unlike most of the cars, it does not have a big window for the third row passengers. So you might feel claustrophobic at times. There is this section here, but it is quite small. You get one USB-C and some cup holders. That's pretty much it. Your AC vents are up over here. You can use these buttons over here to turn on the LED lights, and the third row does not recline, so you need to continue in the same position for the long journeys. Overall, this car is comfortable for adults even in the third row. Alright, so let me open the hood and understand the powertrain in this particular Traverse. First of all, the hood is hydraulic, which is great. I do see some sound damping material over here, which we'll check in our driving impressions as well. The first impression is everything is very well and neatly designed. The biggest change in this car for the 2025 year all new model is gone is the V6 and in comes the 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder engine with turbocharged. This car produces 328 horsepower and 326 pound-feet of torque, which is actually roughly around 20 numbers more than the V6. So we'll see, is it enough for the size of this car, which is roughly around 4700 pound-feet. Let's talk about that as well. The car also is great in terms of efficiency. In fact, Chevy says that it is 20% better than the outgoing model. The mileage here is 9 to 10 kilometers per liter or 20 to 24 miles per gallon, which is also great. In fact, the car is rated for towing capacity of 5000 lbs, which is again a great thing to have. So the question which we need to find out in the driving impressions now is, how does it drive and is it enough power for you to haul your family and your stuff for camping as well as everything else? Let's find out. So now I'm in the driver's seat of the new 2025 Traverse and I'm going to take this for spin and talk to you about the driving impressions of this car and understand, is the car big enough but still very friendly for the city driving. Overall, the quietness in the cabin is quite there, at least in the lower speed in my opinion. The turn signals and the turning radius was very good. With the size of this car, I was very easily able to turn that car over there. As soon as I put the gas pedal, the car really goes to the desired speed. But one thing I noticed is the engine noise. The V4 engine in this is very growly. It's not sounding similar to the V6 engine, and the engine noise is coming up inside the compartment at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour as well. That's where Chevy should improve in the upcoming generations for sure. The braking speed and the power is quite nice. The brakes are on a harder side, I would say, but it still stops at a desired distance, which is good. The suspension of the car seems really nice, slightly on a stiffer side, though it does take the potholes very well. That's a great sign. The steering wheel here is very light and soft. For the size of this car, it is always good because then you can have this car on a daily driver for your city as well. However, if you change the mode from my left, as you can see in the center screen, and turn it to sports, and let's see if it changes. Yes, I mean, the steering has stiffened up a little bit, but not up to that mark where we see the sports car have. However, the gear ratio is holding more, so does the engine noise comes inside very early in this particular drive. Especially the lower torque is very high in the initial RPMs, that brings that noise inside. When it comes to pulling power of this particular car and going for the merging, as you see, it is really adequate enough. The A pillar is quite big, but the side mirror is doing a good job for the blind spot monitoring. But hey, you also have a digital camera in this car. Overall, the car is also good to drive in very small roads and cornerings as I'm driving inside this parking lot of the dealership. and it's fairly easy to maneuver and it's fun to drive. The car is quite big and long, but you don't feel that weight and length while you're driving, so that's another good thing to know. The car is female friendly as well, as it is very easy to drive. The best part is it is big and spacious, so you can use it for your city driving, your long trips, your campings, and it is efficient in terms of the engine power and mileage. So it kind of ticks mark all the key elements what a family car should look like and should drive like. So I would say it's a great product at the end of the day. If they can make some subtle improvements in the engine noise as well as the overall fit and finish quality in this car, I think they have got a good product to compete against. The driving of this Traverse is good in terms of the pricing and the value proposition. It's not the best in its class, but it still does a good job. And when you compare in the balance aspect of this, in terms of the exterior design, the comfort, the driving, and the price, that's where the car wins and becomes most compelling option available in this mid-size SUV. So after spending some good quality time with this 2025 Traverse RS, it's time for the final thoughts. But hey, before that, let me ask you a question. Would you choose this Traverse over its siblings like the GMC Acadia or the Buick Enclave? Let me know in the comment below, because essentially those two cars are also the same as this one. Would you consider shortlist or go ahead and buy this 2025 Traverse? Well, in my opinion, you should certainly shortlist this particular Traverse, and it would be in my top two options available, because this car is perfect in terms of value proposition. This Traverse is the biggest in its segment, widest, comfortable, tech-wise as well. It's spacious inside. It has got everything what you need as a family hauler. What it does not have in terms of perfectionist is the fit and finish material quality in this car is much more harder plastic. However, that could be improved in the upcoming versions of this car. But the V4 engine which they have brought in this car is certainly efficient and powerful enough, but the noise level of that engine is too high. So if they can improve in terms of the noise level reduction as well, then it is hard to beat this car. But now let us talk about the competition as well, because as I mentioned earlier, the competition is too much in this segment. Let us talk from the sibling first of all. The GMC Acadia, the Buick Enclave, both of them are essentially the same car with different design as well as interior aspect. Here you have this massive horizontal screens inside, whereas if you move to the GMC Acadia, you will have vertical big screen available. The fit and finish quality and the material choice in the Denali is also top notch. And if you go to the Buick Enclave, the exterior design is really fun and interesting. However, the interior screens are one big panel. Sometimes everyone does not prefer that. So it is up to you whether you like this macho design as well as the modern boxy design of this car, or you want to go with Acadia or Enclave. In any which way, there is a price difference of $3,000 to $4,000 only between each different models from different brands. The Hyundai's Palisade, which apparently I own myself, is one of the best choice in the market right now in the segment, considering the price point, the luxurious touches, the tech, as well as the only car which offers you V6 engine. So if you are a fan of V6 engine, then you only have choice of Hyundai Palisade or the Kia Telluride. However, those two cars in the newer iteration of this generations, they have also gone away with the V6 engines, which is to be noted. Hence, this car becomes one of the interesting and compelling proposition in this particular segment in comparison with all the mainstream manufacturers out there providing their mid-size three-row SUV. In my conclusive thought, I would say certainly shortlist this car, go for a test drive and test it for yourself if you find this car good for your family in terms of space. But I see this one of the most spacious and affordable option in the market right now. That's pretty much it from my side for this particular review. I will see you all in the next one, probably more cars in this segment to help you decide which is the best in the market. Until then, I will see you on the next video. Thank you.